Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Roses, Rings, and Roasts. We are on week 9 of The Bachelor. All that we saw this week was the rose ceremony from last week and after the fantasy suites, and then we got the women tell all. So at the rose ceremony, Hannah Ann and Victoria F show up first, and then there's kind of like this tension that Madison's taking a little bit too long and everyone's kind of wondering where she is and is she gonna show up. And so then we cut to a commercial break, and so it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? We come back and Madison does show up and she's a little hesitant and she's like, well, I really was like falling for Peter, but now I just like don't know where I am anymore. So she goes up to the stage and Peter goes out to start handing out the 2 roses that he has. He hands the first rose to Hannah Ann, and then the second one, you can tell that Peter is like absolutely terrified, and he says, Madison. And Madison kind of just like pauses there for a second and like doesn't move. And so you're like, oh god, is she gonna turn it down?
Madison.
And then she walks up and Peter like can barely make eye contact with her, like is clearly like shaking.
Madison. Will you accept this rose? Sure.
He like gives her a hug, and while they're hugging, the microphone was like pressed against Peter's chest, and you can just hear his heart like beating so loud. Because he was like just that nervous that Madison was gonna leave. At this point, I'm like, Peter, propose to Madison. You're clearly in love with her. You're scared to lose her. Like, she's the one, right? So Victoria F went home. So you see that, and then it's over. And then we go on to the women tell all. So the women tell all to me is like kind of hard to like recap in a sense. Basically, it was a bunch of girls fighting.
They're outside of
I
that.
failed at that. I should have
I think
what was malicious is Sydney going to Peter.
Well, it wasn't malicious, Alexa, because we were having. I'm sorry. That gave her some. No, that's not okay. You did.
And then we get to see more into like certain fights that they pick and pull at. First, we get into like Tammy and McKenna talking about their fight, and you can clearly tell that McKenna like rehearsed everything she was gonna say because she wanted to look really, really good on camera. My speculation behind this is they filmed this beforehand. This was not live, so I feel like while they were filming this, they were still deciding on who the Bachelorette was gonna be, and so McKenna gave this whole spiel about how she's gonna love everyone and she just wants to be loved and blah blah blah. She wanted to be the Bachelorette. Haha, didn't get it. And yeah, they didn't really resolve anything. First of all, side note, Tammy, I love Tammy. I don't care what y'all have to say about Tammy. I love Tammy. And the reason is, not only did I love her on the show just because she was like a super confident and like big personality, but she tweeted recently, she was like, where my Enneagram 8 people at? Which an Enneagram is like a personality test and there's different types. And so she was like, where are my type 8 people at? I myself am a type 8. And so me and Tammy are the same personality type. And so I responded to it and I was like, Tammy, I knew I loved you this season. I'm a type 8 right here. And she actually liked my tweet and I was like, oh, what a sweetheart. So yeah, that's my little spiel about Tammy. Then we go on to talk to Kelsey about Champagne Kate, not once, but twice, which I thought was a little much. And they talked about how like she was super emotional and all this, which we already knew. And she was like, oh, I accept being emotional. So whatever. Snooze fest, if you ask me. Was kind of over it. I don't care. So then they brought Victoria F up on stage. She talked about how she really blamed herself for everything that happened between her and Peter, and that she wished she would have let Peter in and I think the words she used were like, let him love her the way he wanted to, and like maybe it would have gone better for her, but she was just really stubborn the whole time, and she said that was something she regretted. But then so they blatantly asked her, big accusations have been made about you like breaking up marriages, which was the thing at the hometowns, and they were like, so have you broken up any marriages? And she said no. I don't believe it personally. Who like why, first of all, the girl who said this, who brought it up to Peter, her face was blurred out. Like, she clearly didn't want that much attention from it. So I don't think she did it just to like bring Victoria down. But like, why would you make up the fact that someone has broken up relationships if they hadn't? Like, to me, that's a stupid thing to lie about. Like, I would understand if she went up and she's like, Victoria F just like isn't a nice person. Like, that's something I'm like, that's your own opinion. But she was like, she broke up marriages, which is like huge. So no, I don't believe Victoria. And so Peter actually came out to talk to Victoria, and I didn't write really anything down about it. I don't think it really stuck in my head that well. I don't really think it was that like important of a conversation. But then Peter stayed on stage and they just talked to him in the hot seat, and Peter did recognize that he had like made a lot of mistakes on the show. All he did the whole time was just follow what he wanted and what his heart wanted, and while that did lead to a lot of drama and a lot of people staying that necessarily the watchers didn't like, he just did what he wanted to do, so he seems fine with it. So then the previews for next week, it shows that Hannah Ann and Madison go to meet Peter's parents, which Madison has already met them, and they also love her, by the way. What it shows is like both Peter's parents asking Hannah Ann and Madison like really hard questions, which kind of like set them back, but it looks like it set Madison back possibly more. And so when we go to the part where he's gonna hand out the final rose, we're speculating that Peter sends Hannah Ann home. Madison realizes that Peter isn't the spiritual leader that she wants in a husband for her family, and she leaves before finding out that Peter was gonna propose to her. And that's what Chris Harrison like tells him, is like, we just found this out, but Madison left. And so then it's like Peter has no one and he doesn't know what to do and he freaks out. And then we see Barbara talking to Peter, and she's like, don't let her go. Like, go fight for her, go get her. This is what love stories are made out of. Barbara, thank you for that iconic scene. That's pretty much all that happened this week and what I think is gonna happen next week. Next week will be a 2-night event, Monday and Tuesday for the finale. And so I'm just gonna recap it as a whole at the end of it, after it's all said and done, and give you my opinions on everything. I am planning to make a video where I talk about who the new Bachelorette is, because I have a lot of opinions about it and I'm not gonna put it all into this. And so I think maybe me and my sister one day might go get some coffee and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna chat about this new Bachelorette and how absolutely furious I am. But honestly, I'm ready for this season to be over. It's been stressful. Poor Peter, honestly, I hope he's still single. Like, I just think this has been too much for him, and maybe he'll find love somewhere else, because man, it wasn't there for Hannah B. It's not here for Peter. I don't really know what to expect on the next season. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if you like this video. If you have any other video ideas that you want me to do, please let me know. Also, there is a new like Bachelor show that's coming out in April, which is like Bachelor Listen to Your Heart, and it's about singing and finding love. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna cover that because I don't even know that I'm gonna watch it. But if I do, maybe I'll make like one video about all my thoughts from the show after it's all said and done. Maybe. Let me know if you have other video ideas that you would like me to do. Leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching. This Bachelor recap show is almost done and it's almost to an end. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.